A rough year, or rough 18 months really. Bitcoin is climbing to a fresh 2019 high, approaching the all-important $6,000 level for the first time since November, on most cryptocurrency exchanges, that is. And of course, it's all about as institutions seemingly embracing more of the tokens. Bloomberg's ErikSchatzker is standing by in Las Vegas with a force in the industry. Eric.
Caroline, that would be Mike Novogratz, and he and I certainly are going to talk about Bitcoin. But here's where I want to start with the CEO of Galaxy Digital. Mike, we do need to talk about the spate of fraud and theft in crypto. Quadriga, Tether, and Bitfinex, and most recently Binance. Has it affected you?
Listen, it's not good for the whole ecosystem. What's happening over time, though, is professionals are coming into this space, regulation is coming into this space, and we're getting better product. And so when I think of custody, Fidelity, New York Dig out of New York, Anchor out of the West Coast, all world-class solutions coming into custody. And so that's going to allow institutions to feel comfortable. Listen, the Quadriga thing was a setback for the space because it's got regulators nervous, and regulators get nervous and they slow the whole process down. And so it's up to the community to build the right infrastructure. This is complicated stuff. A lot of this stuff got thrown together quickly. These exchanges.
What about Bitfinex?
You know, Bitfinex ran at 97% margins. I remember sitting down with the CEO and saying, maybe you should decrease your margin and spend more on infrastructure. 97% margins, think about that as a business. And, listen, like I said, you look at Coinbase and the money they spend building safety and working with regulators. And I think the future is going to be more regulated, safer, and more institutional places.
Did you lose any money on those?
I didn't. Knock on whatever this is. And listen, what happened last night with Binance, in some ways they responded quickly. It was a hot wallet. They got shut down. They had reserves to pay out the investors. No one lost any money. And so,
but if this weren't fraud, you'd almost have to call it comical, right? This what's going on. You said yourself in a recent tweet, the herd won't come until we all operate with transparency and professionalism. Why would any institution invest in this asset class if the evidence suggests that on any given day, your money could disappear in a puff of code?
Well, a puff of code, that's good. Listen, it can't all disappear. Even in the aggressive exchanges, they keep only a small portion on what's called hot wallets would be accessible to hacks. And there's insurance. And so, again, loud and clear, no one lost a cent last night. Still not good for the space. We need more transparency, and we need more professionalism. And that's coming.
What if Facebook gets into this business?
I think it's a stunningly important thing. I think it's a good thing for the entire space. Listen, what's been happening is the herd is just slowly coming along, right? Yale got in, Harvard got in, Stanford got in, more and more endowments are getting in. And so now you've got one of the largest companies in the world saying, we believe in cryptocurrency. We're going to set up, we'll see what when their announcement comes, but it's not going to be small. And to me, it's a step function of credentialization and credibility. And so if you're at the Texas Municipal Teachers Union and you've been thinking about this, you're one step further to investing, especially since you now have Fidelity where you can custody, or all these places that are trusted.
Trusted, it becomes a very complicated question, Mike, because if Facebook hasn't demonstrated conclusively that it can be trusted to protect user data, why would users entrust Facebook with their money?
Well, you'll see. Let's not prejudge the project until it's out. I would think that we're going to see if it's a centralized or if it's a decentralized ecosystem they set up. If it's a centralized ecosystem, nothing really changes. If it's a decentralized ecosystem, i.e. not controlled by them, then it's a big deal.
Bitcoin is closing in on $6,000. Is that an important technical level?
Sure it is.
And now as much as it used to be?
We're going to struggle around 6,000 for a while. We're going to take out 6,000. We're going to be much higher. What's interesting is we had this bubble. Everything went up. It was all store value. And when it was all store value, you had unlimited supply coming in because you could have started the Eric coin, and that's adding to supply. And the market got rational. The only store of value in the space right now is Bitcoin. It doesn't need to change. It is gold, right? Now think about gold. Gold became...
Hang on. Is it game over and Bitcoin's won?
Yes. It's won that bucket. It's won the bucket of store of value. Not as a currency, but as a store of value. It's won. And all the other cryptos, just like the other 113 elements on the periodic table, have to prove use case, have to be valuable because people use them. And so if it's Ethereum or EOS or Definity or Hashgraph or any of these
Litecoin
guys
or whatever,
being Web 3.0, they need two things to happen. They need to be used. And so you got to put people in the room, programmers, entrepreneurs, developers.
so it doesn't matter that you can't buy anything with Bitcoin.
You can't buy
It's
anything
just-
with gold. What have you bought with gold in your whole life?
You know I haven't bought anything with gold.
Nothing. You know, maybe you get a gold coin and you save it. Bitcoin is a store of value. And listen, the Incas and the Aztecs thought gold came from God. That's why it was a store of value. There's something magic that happened. It's not the code, right? Me and you could take the code of Bitcoin. It's transparent. And we could launch it tomorrow and call it Schatzker coin. And it would be worth bupkis, right? But Bitcoin's worth $100 billion. It's the social construct that makes it worth $100 billion. And it's hard to repeat that. And so it's pretty freaking cool. But that, and now I see people all believing it. And so it's a self-fulfilling prophecy in lots of ways. And so Bitcoin, I feel better about Bitcoin today than I have at any time in my career. And the rest of the space, listen, I was just out in San Francisco. The locus of this space is moving back around San Francisco and Silicon Valley. And I went to 5 different funds, VC/hedge funds. Each of them had some boy genius between 19 and 23 that had worked at the NSA or had graduated high school when they were 12. And I was thinking to myself, this space is pulling in the smartest kids of their generation. It's pulling in great entrepreneurs who are my age, people like Abby Johnson and Russ Stevens, and it's pulling in this young technical talent. And so I think it's a bullish environment.
Mike, great to see you, and thanks for spending time with us here in Vegas.
Thanks a lot.
Scarlett, he may have been a boy genius at one point, is a little older now. That was Mike Novogratz, the CEO of Galaxy Digital here at Salt in Vegas.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, ErikSchatzker, our resident boy genius. From New York, this is Bloomberg.